I dreamt of a great judgment morning, and of the wicked freeze when the trumpets are blown. Dreamt of all nation assembled to be judged in front Selassie I throne. Yes, I dreamt of a great judgment morning, and of the wicked freeze when the trumpets are blown. Dreamt of all nation assembled to be judged in front Selassie I throne.
Undaunted by the driving rain, a sea of faces awaited at the Palisados airport the arrival of a living legend. To some, he was the King of Kings, the Lion of Judah, even a god. But to most, he was a mild-mannered monarch who had won the respect and admiration of Jamaicans. The air was charged with excitement as anxious, expectant faces searched the skies for the first glimpse of the great silver bird that would bring their hero to Jamaican soil for the first time. Members of a local cult, the Rastafarians, who were easily distinguished by their long beards and unshorn locks, and who worship this figure as a deity, were present in full force. Rousing, boisterous, tumultuous welcome ever given to any visiting or local celebrity, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, Emperor of Ethiopia, arrived. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of rejoicing as they broke through the lines of soldiers and police and surged out onto the tarmac, eager to engulf the emperor with their affection. The ceremonial welcome that was planned had to be abandoned as the avalanche of men, women, and children swept away all semblance of order. Ethiopia, a monarchy on the eastern side of Africa, has been governed since 1930 by Haile Selassie, whom history records as being a direct descendant of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Jamaica was among the places visited by His Imperial Majesty on his tour of the Caribbean area.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High, or some say God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the Spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesseth that Yeshua HaMashiach, or some say ignorantly, Jesus Christ, is come in the flesh of the Most High. And every spirit that confess not that Yeshua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is the spirit of the Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. First and foremost, I want to say all praises to Ahaya, Bahasham Yeshua, Wa Rakha Kwadash. This video is about Rastafarianism, or Rastafari, as some call it. First, brief disclaimer. I am from the tribe of Benjamin, a so-called Jamaican, and my father was a Rasta, and I don't want to hear in the comment sections, oh, you can't say nothing about this and that. No, an Israelite man can speak on what knowledge he needs to speak about to rebuke what he needs to rebuke. All right. And Haile Selassie was another Antichrist, one of the many Antichrists that has been spewed out into the world. For one, he let people go about the earth, calling him the Lion of Judah and calling him the Messiah. All right. And see, what happened was it rained. It didn't rain for a long time in Jamaica. Right. And Selassie comes and he gets off the plane and it starts raining. And I'm going to say Jamaicans are very superstitious people, like most of our people, but they're very, very superstitious. So when it started raining in Jamaica, when Haile Selassie got off the plane, Jamaicans took it as a sign, as this person being some form of Messiah. But Haile Selassie wasn't a Messiah. He was another Antichrist. And let's prove it.
Born to a noble family in eastern Ethiopia, Tafari Makanen was surrounded by privilege and prestige from the very earliest years of his life. Through his mother's bloodline, Tafari laid claim to Ethiopia's Solomonic dynasty, which according to traditional beliefs had ruled the empire from as far back as the year 980 BC. According to an ancient text known as the Kebra NAGAST, which is translated as the Glory of Kings, the Solomonic dynasty began when Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, traveled from Ethiopia to visit Israel's King Solomon, the son of David. Although this famous meeting between the two monarchs is referenced in both the Old and New Testaments of the Christian Bible, the Kebra NAGAST,
the book of Ezra, chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Tilmallah, Tilharsah, Cherub, Adon, and Imir, but they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel. See, the problem with Selassie is that Selassie traces his lineage to Solomon, or he attempts to trace his lineage to Solomon through his mother's side and say he's an Israelite or of Solomonic bloodline through his mother, when the Bible and biblical records say that you come from your father's house. Your bloodline is determined from your father's seed. So if Selassie came from King Solomon, and with all the wisdom of King Solomon, how could Selassie come from King Solomon if he didn't get a drop of wisdom to know that biblically in Hebraic, all right, when it comes to Hebraic law, we come from the seed of our father? And also that's basic common sense and logic and, biology 101 as well. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 10, verse 13. And King Solomon gave unto the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, besides that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants. So the queen of Sheba, she went, which is the kingdom of Saba, she went back to her own country with her servants. And it say Solomon gave her a son or gave her a baby or anything like that. It says she gave her, or he says he gave her whatsoever she asked and all that she desired. She came there for knowledge in which how to govern her kingdom, right? It was more of a political relationship, all right? That's why she turned and went back to her own country. If she gave him a child, why didn't she stay there? This further proves the story of Rasta and the whole story of Selassie coming from some child that came from the Queen of Sheba and Solomon is a lie. This is from a site called Cushitic Ethiopianism. And of course, Cush or Kawash is the son of Ham, and today they are called Ethiopians, or from the Greek word Ethiop, meaning land of burnt faces. It reads, Well, Izero Yeshimi Bet Ali was daughter of Dejazmach Ali Abba Jafar, who was a Muslim chief of the Warwar Ilu clan of the Wolo Oromo tribe. All right, so Yeshimi Ali, which is the mother of whom they say King Selassie, but it's just Selassie. They're not real royalty, all right? It says that is his mother, Yeshimi Ali. So if that's the mother of Selassie, her father is a Muslim. She comes from a Muslim tribe. So where did Solomon's bloodline switch? It went from Hebrew, now it went to Muslim, and then it went back to Hebrew again according to Ethiopic beliefs. Because according to Selassie, you come from your mother's bloodline to see what your lineage is and see what your heritage is, because he claims Solomonic bloodline through his mother. He wasn't even smart enough to claim it through his father, because of course his father too is an Israelite. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 1. And Ahiah said unto Aaron, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. So clearly here we see it's about coming from the seed of your father. It's about your father's house. All right. That's what determines what tribe you come from. Haile Selassie, he can't even qualify for an Israelite, let alone the Lion of Judah, because he ain't even from Judah and he ain't even an Israelite. All right, now let's look at the double-mindedness and the idolatry of Rasta.
This country is dominant a Christian country, you know. It's now you have few look Muslim brethren coming in, you know. But this is dominant. Look, Jamaica have the most church in square mile than any other country. But yet still we have the highest crime rate. So the church is not working. Because them break down to Anglican, Baptist, Apostolic, all kind of things. Different. And everyone wants to say for them one right. And now, I see Rastafari brethren doing the same thing. Because everybody want to go join something and go sign something and say them are the leader, them Haile Selassie is the leader. No man can lead I. And one leader may have a Haile Selassie. And any man who want to take that position, a lightning, earthquake and thunder, man. No man can lead I. So no.
All right, so we have this one little Rasta brethren, and when Rasta speak, they speak against Christianity, and they speak as if they don't deal with it, and Rastafari has nothing to do with it. All right, but we're gonna look at that shortly. And he says that, of course, Jamaica is a dominant country. And he says basically he doesn't deal with it because there's multiple denominations of Christianity. But like he said, there's multiple denominations of Rastafarianism as well. All right. But then he goes to say he doesn't follow man. Only Haile Selassie can lead him. That's his only leader. But let's look at Haile Selassie and we'll see what he follows. Because surely Haile Selassie wasn't a Rasta. Haile Selassie didn't have dreads. Haile Selassie didn't bun ganja. Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo. And this is the religion of Haile Selassie. Let's read. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church is the largest Oriental Orthodox church, one of the few Christian churches in sub-Saharan Africa, originating before European colonization of the continent. The Orthodox Tewahedo, Ethiopian, of course. So this Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church is just another denomination or branch of Christianity like the Rasta said he didn't like. That's why Rasta is double-minded. Rastafarianism is double-minded. And anybody that's ever talked to a Rasta or knows a Rasta, has any Rasta family, can attest to that. See, the problem with Rasta and Rastas is some Rastas, they'll sit back, they'll roll one or two spliff, burn one or two spliff halfway through the spliff. Now here comes this revelation in this story, and you hear so much of this supposed knowledge, and now they say weed or marijuana or ganja was found on King Solomon's grave.
No man can lead I. And one leader may have a Haile Selassie. And any man who want to take that position, a lightning, earthquake and thunder, man.
See the double-mindedness? I mean, am I tripping? He said, no man can lead him, but Selassie, which was a man that died, can lead him. This is why Rasta is idolatry and ample double-mindedness. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And Rastas are very unstable in a lot of their speech. One moment they'll be talking about this, next moment they'll be talking about that.
No man can lead I. And one leader me have a Haile Selassie.
In 1974, a Soviet-backed military junta deposed Haile Selassie as emperor, and he was kept under house arrest at the imperial palace. When was the Lion of Judah, Yeshua HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, under house arrest? Let me continue. He died a year later while still under house arrest. In 1992, his remains were discovered buried under a toilet in the palace and transferred to the church at Bata'a Ma'iram Gita. So your Christian leader, your Christian suit wearing, riding around with Queen Elizabeth, white woman, Haile Selassie, was found under a damn toilet. All right. So when you let people and the people in the earth go around and title you as Lion of the Lion of Judah and King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Most High makes sure that in history is written that your damn remains is found under a shitter, pretty much. All right. Haile Selassie is not the Lion of Judah. He's not the King of Kings, and he for sure is not the Lord of Lords, and most definitely is not an Israelite. Now let's see how the Most High feels about the Ethiopians and Selassie. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 14, verse 8. And Asa had an army of men that bare targets and spears, of Judah 300,000, and of Benjamin that bare shields and drew bows 280,000. All these were men of valor. And there came out against them Zerah the Ethiopian with an host of 1,000,000 and 300 chariots, and came unto Mareshah. Verse 10. Then Asa went out against them, and they set the battle in array in the valley of Ziphtah at Mareshah. And Asa cried unto Ahiah his power, and said, Ahiah, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with many or with them that have no power. Help us, O Most High, our power, for we rest on thee, and in thy name we go against this multitude, O power. Thou art the Most High. Let no man prevail against thee. So the Most High smote the Ethiopians before Asa and before Judah, and the Ethiopians fled. And Asa and the people that were with him pursued them unto Gerar, and the Ethiopians were overthrown that they could not recover themselves, for they were destroyed before Ahiah and before his host, and they carried away very much spoil. So the armies of the Ethiopians were destroyed before the Most High, they were overthrown, and they were spoiled. But that happened then. Let's look at a future prophecy that's going to come up on them in the future for their destruction. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 10. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Ahiah will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Ye Ethiopians also shall be slain by my sword. So that's what it comes down to. If you want to worship Ethiopia, if you want to be Ethiopian, you want to cleave to the heathen and worship Selassie or Tafari Makonnen, as his real name is, then you're going to be slain by the sword of the Most High. If you want to join to any of the heathen, you're going to be slain by the sword of the Most High. Because at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, Rasta is just another philosophy of Christianity. One love is the same thing as Christianity. Christians teach one love as well. Rasta is just really a fashion statement. Anybody could be a Rasta. A Chinaman could be a Rasta. White boy could be a Rasta. It's all just really a fashion statement and mixed with philosophy. All praises to the Most High, Bahasham Yeshua, Kwam Yashabala, Death to Babylon.